Alrighty, good morning everyone. MAGBLADE back with another video for you today. Let's just go ahead and get into it. This is for a ranged Nightblade that I put together. Ultimately a really fun build. However, I will say it is not very solo friendly. You can do a lot with it solo, but I feel like its potential is definitely more in like a small group, 2 or 3 man. I played it solo. If you guys want to see um, more of like a long form video, I did a stream of it this past Friday. But anyways, let's just go ahead and get into the build here. I am a Khajiit. I think Khajiit is probably going to be your best race for this. You can be whatever other race you like. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. But I think Khajiit's going to give you your best damage potential. Coming in with our attributes, I have 30 points into health, 24 mag, 10 stamina. You don't have to have them exactly like this, but um, our main reason for running such high health I'll get to in a minute. Mundus is the shadow, as usual. You could even go the lover. It's really up to you. Spell pen can be kind of low on this particular build, and I tested both out. I got pretty much similar results. Just with the lover, our non-crits hit a little bit harder. However, with the shadow, our crit ults hit really hard, so kind of leave it up to you. Jewels for the food, and we are a stage 3 vampire. Let's go ahead and get into the gear. Running Balorgs for a monster set. Best damage monster set in the game. No reason not to run it. Probably wouldn't swap it out for anything. We're running 2 heavy. However, in the videos, I was running medium in pen helm and a heavy reinforced shoulder. This is just what I had in my bank at the time of recording this, so but you can use either. Trainee, chest piece reinforced. For our back bar set, we are running Daedric Trickery. 3 medium in pen on the gloves, belt, and boots. Really nice for this build to get that extra healing and whatnot. I didn't really want to try a whole lot of other sets. I tried Rallying Cry, and it was good. It boosted our damage slightly. However, it didn't boost it enough to where I wanted to take it over Trickery. I was running Trickery mostly because I was solo, and I knew this build was going to need to have a lot of extra healing just with its playstyle. So Trickery is kind of where I made my home. For the back bar weapon, defending Resto. You don't have to run Resto if you don't want to. You could run an Ice Staff instead. I've done both for this build. Both work extremely well. You'll just have a little less healing. And I'll show you guys the optional skill setup as well. For the front bar set, we are running Soul Cleaver, sharpened lightning staff on our weapon. Ultimately, I will say my least favorite thing about this set is that the damage increase to Swallow Soul is really kind of lackluster, unfortunately. My biggest problem with this build, even though I really like it, it's fun, I want it to hit just a little bit harder. Swallow Soul just kind of leaves a lot to be, a lot of damage to be desired. Now, when the Swallow Souls crit, they hit pretty well, but when they're not critting, I mean, you're averaging like 3k, which is kind of on the lower end. And we really play around our ult with this build anyways, but it just kind of can be frustrating when you're hitting a spammable on a guy and it's only 3k. So just fair notice, be warned. Um, it can be tricky sometimes, and yeah. Moving on though, jewelry, soul cleaver necklace, and ring both infused with weapon and spell damage enchants. Then we are running heavy reinforced soul cleaver legs, and that pretty much Makes it up for the main gear. For our Mythic, we are running Markin. You can run Death Dealers if you want to. However, I will say, I will actually show you my favorite way to play this build, but it's not going to be desirable for a lot of you guys. Is to basically run Thracians. Now, as I said earlier, the Swallow Soul Spammable is kind of weak, and we can extremely make up for that by running Thracians. However, you do run into a lot of downtime in PvP if you die. Then you got to go build your 50 stacks again in Cyrodiil, and that can just be kind of bothersome. But I was actually able to have this build basically exactly how I wanted it, running Thracians. I just didn't want to make that the main focus of this build because it is kind of lame when you die. You have to go build your 50 stacks, and it can take a long time, and then you're really not PvPing for a lot of the day. But in any case, if you really wanted to pump the damage out of this build, I would go Thracians. That was pretty much the main thing that I found, is that these other mythics were good for like my all-around survivability, but this was just really, really great. You can't run Cloak with this either, so you have to go, can't run Shadowy Disguise, you have to run Dark Cloak instead, just FYI. But still, really good. But anyways, we'll go back to the sort of more well-rounded setup. As for the skills, we are running Swallow Soul. This is our main spammable. It's going to heal us as well every time we deal damage with it. Merciless Resolve, Bow proc. We can get a lot of really hard hitting crit off this. Power Extraction for our Major Brutality, Sorcery, Minor Courage, Minor Cowardice on enemies. Super nice. Elisus for our Major Breach. Healthy Offering. This is our burst heal. The reason I put it on the front bar is because Soul Cleaver does give you 21% increased healing of those abilities as well. So we can get our burst heal to hit a lot harder on our front bar. Soul Tether for our ulti as well. Soul Cleaver buffs this, so no reason not to run it. Moving on to the back bar, we're running Rapid Regen. Really great heal, gonna help us stay up in a lot of these fights and outnumbered. Refreshing Path. Kind of was torn between taking this off and swapping it for Shadow Image. Shadow Image is really nice just to be able to get away from fights. However, we are kind of slow without a major expedition if you run Shadow Image. So therefore, I kind of just stuck it out with Refreshing Path instead. I really wanted to make this work as much as possible, but at the end of the day, just a lot of the fights I was getting into, it didn't really help me a whole lot. I didn't play a lot of tower fights or anything with this, and maybe that's why. I mostly did a lot of open field stuff. Now, if you were doing a lot of tower fights, this could probably really come in handy, but unfortunately, I just really wasn't doing that. It's one of my favorite Nightblade skills, and I tried making it work as much as possible with this build, and ultimately I just decided Refreshing Path kind of fit it a little better. Anyways, Shadowy, or Shadow Cloak for our Invis and crit buffs. Resolving Vigor. Siphoning attacks anytime we're low on sustain. We can pop all of our healing over time. Maybe a cloak. Go in, cast siphoning attacks, kind of get our sustain back up. Lights Champion for our back bar resto ulti. Now I will go ahead and show you what you can do if you want to run Destro, back bar, take path off, put Ellie Susta on the back bar, and then you kind of have a flex spot here for an execute. Now, I will say this is probably your more damage forward option. main kind of problem with the other bar setup was that if you don't kill them with your bow proc, sometimes it can be hard to finish them because you don't have an execute on your bar. With this bar setup, we have room for Killer's Blade, and that lets us finish enemies a lot easier. All in all, you could run either option, double Destro or double Resto. I played both, I liked both. In any case, let's just go ahead and get into the CP, Master at Arms, Resilience, Duelist Rebuff, and Fighting Finesse. Probably wouldn't change anything here. Moving on to the red tree, we're running Celerity, Sustained by Suffering, Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts. Also probably would not change anything. All in all, that's pretty much it for the main aspect of the build, but let's go ahead and kind of just do a little rotation here for you guys. As always, you want to start being in combat, casting all your buffs. Now, this is for the double Destro setup. I'll do one for the Resto. Vigor, Refreshing Path, Ellie Sus, Bar Swap, Power Extraction, Swallow Soul. Pretty much do this until you have your 5 stacks of bow proc, which we do. At that point, swap back bar for cloak, swap back, hit soul tether, bow proc. And that's pretty much your combo. It plays very similar to basically running what's it called? In cap. So now at that point, if your enemy's weak, you hit execute. And for Resto, it's basically going to be the same thing, except you have another heal on your bar. I prefer to cast all my healing over times at the start of combat because it's just going to help you prevent from getting bursted if someone just tries to ulti dump you. Anyways, Vigor, Path, Rapid Regen, Bar Swap, Ellie Sus, Power Extraction, Swallow Soul 5 times, and then basically when we have our ult, build it up here a little bit more, Bar Swap Cloak, Bar Swap back, Soul Tether, and then Bow Proc. So that's pretty much it for the rotation. I do have a little bit of gameplay that I will go ahead and post for you guys, just some kills really. If you want to see like a more long form, I'll go ahead and link the stream that we did on Friday so you guys can just watch and see in its entirety of how this build plays. And I test out different things as well, different mythics, different back bar sets, all of that. So anyways guys, I appreciate you watching and we will see you on the next one. Alrighty guys, so jumping into the gameplay here, kind of just some little clips. Most of this I didn't even record. A lot of it's on the stream. So if you guys really want to see more gameplay, really just better gameplay, all my best gameplay, it was on the stream I feel like, but I didn't record any of it and I didn't want to put it here because I would have to like screen record my own video, if that makes sense, and then the quality just comes out super bad. So if you guys want, go check out the stream. I think it's called like Ranged MAGBLADE PvP or something like that. It's a 3-hour stream. It's got a ton of clips on it though. A couple little X's and whatnot. Really, I think it's the best gameplay that I had, but this is just what I recorded and the rest of it was streamed. So if you guys want to check it out, I would definitely refer you to check out the stream. Like I said, it really had the best gameplay overall. Anyways, after cleaning up that first fight, kind of got a few reds down here. Trying to judge the situation, see what's going on, just keeping my hots up and whatnot, and seeing, you know, truly how many are going to push in, if people are going to chase. I got another yellow with me. As I said earlier, I think this build really excels with having at least one other person in your group. You can play it solo. The problem is, however, when you come across a really good player, like someone I would say of my own caliber, it can be hard to take them out with this build. If you run an execute, it's definitely more possible. Like I said in the build section of this video, I feel like the execute really helped where this build struggled. But when you come across a really good player, it's going to be hard to kind of really get them consistently. What you'll probably get is a lot of stalemates with this build. And one, that's because our survivability is so good. And two, being that our spammable Swallow Soul is just not really that amazing. And so it leaves a lot to be desired sometimes, especially if you're not running like Killer's Blade or something like that. But, you know, anyways, I mean, it's just kind of the name of the game for this build. I really wanted this to work out a lot better than it did. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I just feel like I want to get more out of it. And as I said in the build section, Thracians really allowed me to push it to the next level. The problem is that when you're going with Thracians, you got to go build your 50 stacks, right? And if you die, let's say you get Zerg down, you got to do it all over again. I will say, though, it definitely boosted the damage to where I thought this was like a worthy contender. And probably with Thracians, you could probably 1vx with this, like, consistently. Because our survivability is just, it's so great. Realistically, what we're lacking is damage on our spammable. Not damage on our ulti, not bow proc damage, nothing. I mean, it's really just comes down to the spammable. Like, this guy's getting hit by it pretty good. But overall, your tankier players, you're gonna hit like maybe 3k average, which just really isn't that great. Comparing it to something like Concealed Weapon, Concealed Weapons is gonna be better for you all around. I tried the scribing burst spammable soul magic or whatever, and it's really good as well, but my main intention with this was to make it like an old school MAGBLADE. So I didn't really want to stray from the skills that I had on the bar already. The old ranged MAGBLADE is one of my favorite playstyles, and this was kind of my attempt at bringing it back to life. If I had a duo, one of my buddies on with me, I think I would have absolutely fell in love with this build. I still really want to push it as much as I can and test different things to get it to work. I even tried a max mag version with Crafty. I tried many things, but ultimately, I think that it's just not a solo build so much. Definitely nice for a small group though. In any case, getting back to commentary on the gameplay as we're almost finished up with it. Poor level 235 got nuked. Got a little duel with this Sork here. Actually almost takes me out with that meteor combo. I really did not have any of my healing over time up, so if I died, that was pretty much on me. However, right here, I can tell it's pretty much over, and just finish him with a ulti. Going on to this last clip, it was a 3v1, but the other two guys I had killed earlier, and I think they just really didn't want to be a part of this and fight this DK. That's pretty much it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.